Hey nerds! So here we are looking over the Fire Emblem Three Houses trailer, and yes, it's been a while, but I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to see where your opinions were landing when it came to this, what were the hype levels for you, and also how excited you are. Since, well, this is our first console game since, what, 2007? Yeah, pretty exciting stuff. So let's go over trivia and all this other fun stuff, what I'm seeing, and I'm going to give you my opinions on it. The first thing, of course, is, well, the subtitle Three Houses. A lot of you pointed out that was kind of generic, and not only that, but when this was first shown, a lot of you thought there were going to be like 3 games here, and you were freaking the hell out. But no, just a subtitle, but in Japanese, the subtitle actually has a different meaning. And I'm kind of upset that they didn't really translate it that well to English. They just kind of went with Three Houses. But just to give you an idea, here is a tweet that I got from Tater Towers, I believe I'm saying that correctly, which kind of sells the point. Basically, in Japanese, they have an idiom. It's also a Chinese idiom, but it translates to wind, flower, snow, and the moon. And this has all sorts of implications. It's like, you know, changing seasons, romance, but also a respect for nature. That gives you an idea of what the idiom means. Unfortunately, trying to translate that into English is not something that would have been easy, and it probably would have lost its meaning. So, all in all, not too great, but I guess we'll have to go with Three Houses, which I'm sure has its own meaning as well. I'm just wondering what it could mean in the long run. As if there's 3 characters and there might be 3 houses. Oh well, we'll worry about that a little bit later when we get into gameplay. Alright, so, next up, let me just say, really happy to see the diagonal run there, by the way. I'm sure a lot of you noticed, but I'm really, really pleased to see weapon durability come back. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really happy. I was not really partial to how Fates handled weapon durability, in that there was none, and instead it was debuffs when you went past a certain tier of weapon, and that was pretty much how a lot of that went. And I'm proud to see, and I'm really happy to see, a return to weapon durability. Some of you may not be happy, but do tell me in the comments what you think, because I myself am quite happy to see this. But that's not the end of combat, I'm sure you've noticed, because there's a lot of people running around here, a lot of them. Yep, that seems to be a system. Not only that, it seems to be like it's an actual war. Wow, that's weird, guys. How could that happen? Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit eyeballing this over, but it's kind of odd to see all of these units on screen when it's not just one character. But the other thing we need to touch on here, of course, is that you probably noticed the character's name. Edelgard right there, you know, she's voiced by Christina V, by the way. Dimitri, and also Claude. Now, the press release website refers to them as 3 main characters. They're all wearing different colors. They may be from different houses. There's 3 of them. But don't worry, there's also, of course, your avatar, which, as you can see right over there, he seems to be a little bit moody here, but you should be able to use him as your main character. Or her, hopefully. The next thing, of course, seems to be a extension on something that I remember from Shadows of Valentia. I'm sure you guys may remember the dungeon crawling system. I'm actually really happy to see this, you know, brought out into a bigger dimension, in the sense, you know, a castle, a town. You're going to be able to explore a lot of things here. And I'm hoping that there's a little bit more depth to that than just running around talking to people. But I really like the whole Shadows of Valentia dungeon crawl system, so definitely something I'm looking forward to. There, of course, are a few other things I want to talk about. One, you know, outside of this conversation, I've noticed that the art for 16 seems to be a lot more clean. Like, just look at this one of Edelgard there. And, yeah, you can tell that the art seems to be... it reminds me a lot of Persona, and I'm sure there's probably rumor mills running around going, oh my god, is it the artist from Persona or something like that? But yeah, it reminds me a lot of that, and it's a little bit more mature looking, and they seem to be just a lot more clean when it comes to art, and I really do enjoy that. It's a lot more different than, quite a bit different from Shadows of Valentia's art style, which I'm welcoming. The next thing I want to talk about here should be, yep, alright, so, as you can see, the soldiers that you have with you seem to have some sort of purpose. This is something the press release referred to as formations, and formations will alter the tide of battle. They'll give you additional abilities and make you, hopefully, either have a bit of an advantage over an enemy unit. And that seems to be something that might be replacing possibly the pair-up system. I'm not too sure. I'm sure there's still, of course, all the supports you could ever imagine, all that fun stuff. So don't worry too much. Maybe pair-up is still there. Maybe the support system is still intact the way we usually see it with these last few games. But it seems like all of that is there. There's also, of course, cut-ins like that. And it looks pretty bitchin', if I do say so myself. If there's anything I can really come across when it comes to this new game that would be negative, is just that I don't like the subtitle. It just loses its meaning. But other than that, well, a lot of it looks to be quite exciting. I'm wondering how the whole three houses element is going to work. Are we going to be choosing? Are we going to be rounding them all up, kind of getting together, going up against a certain evil? They gave us a little bit of a lore in the actual introduction and talked about things like Cursed Crest and how they were causing problems over everything else. And I really can't tell you what the story is outside of that, and that we're in a continent known as Fodlan. So, yeah, there's a whole world map that you can look at. They released it as well. Honestly, I'm really excited for this, and I can't wait until spring. But I'm going to be covering as much information as I can as it comes along, and we'll be talking about everything Fire Emblem 16 as we get closer to the spring release date. But these are just my thoughts. All in all, looks pretty good. Looks exciting. I'm not sure how the whole support system here with your formations is going to work out. It looks a little bit odd to me, but all in all, looks like a Fire Emblem game, just a little bit weirder. A little bit more modern, in a way. But, since technically this is on the console for the first time in a while, I guess it makes sense that they want to really show a lot more of the war that's going on around you, not just you focusing on one character, or you focusing on a pair of characters and things like that when it comes to battle animations. So, all in all, looks pretty exciting. Mr. Beardman there looks like he's very scary in the long run. This lady wants to hug a sword. It's a lot of excitement and a lot of crazy stuff going on. But that's pretty much it for me. My in-depth thoughts are really that I'm just excited, and I'm hoping that they can do a really good one here when it comes to their first console game in a long time. Best of luck, IS. Do tell me what you nerds think of in the comments below. And, well, that's about it. Sleep well, little girl. I don't know what plot importance you actually have, but I'm sure as time goes on, we'll know exactly what it is. Either way, it was fun talking to you guys. Do put it in the comments below, and, what you think about it. And, well, we'll be seeing a lot more as spring rolls around,